What up, world? Welcome everyone to the Fanatic Sports Podcast, episode 64. And we've done 64 of these, and I think you've been a part of at least 50 of them. Man, what are we doing here?
Hey man, I don't know. I think we're doing something good. I think we're doing something great. We did a whole year. We had our year anniversary in November. Great. So I love that. But in all honesty, I think I'm ready for like 50, 55, 60 more, man. I want not just one, not just two, not just three, not
Okay,
just
LeBron.
four. I want one more NBA Cup for the Knicks. Oh, screw yourself, Clipper fans.
Oh my gosh! We said I didn't mention that we would talk basketball, and I'm hoping not to have to because I am a Clippers fan. We stink. We look as bad as Clippers usually look all the time, and it's crazy because the team talent it should be better. But that's beside the point. Before we get, because the shenanigans are ripping and roaring. Before we get started, I gotta give a big shout out to my man Devin and my man Peyton. Thank y'all so much for joining from the Tailgate Sports Media podcast, man. Thank y'all for getting on with us.
Appreciate you having us, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. We did a little bit of talking already. For those if we just started the pod, but we've been chatting for about 20 or 30 minutes, man. And so before we get started, as always, on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. So for us, I named it Fanatic because fan is short for fanatic, right? And that's what I was going with. And fanatic is sometimes considered a synonym of crazy, or as we like to say, passionate. You're mad about something. I will talk a little bit later about what Anthony's going to be mad about. That's beside the point. So I like to hear the story. I love to hear the story. And it's not what you think, Ant. By the way, it's not exactly what you think. We're going to get to that too, but it's not what you think. But I love the story of a team. How did you become a team of a fan? So pick any team from, high school, college, pros, any level, any sport, football, baseball, cricket, you pick. It's your team and how you became a fan of your team. We want to hear a story from both of you. Pick one team and give us the story.
Evan.
No, whoa. Hey, Devin and Peyton. Hey, man, y'all got a fan story. I'm sorry, but one of y'all got to go. So who's flipping the coin and going first? Because y'all didn't look at each other like you going first. No, man, one of y'all go.
You don't have to be ashamed of your team. I just told y'all I'm a Clippers fan, so you don't have to be ashamed of your team at all.
No shame. I'm taking the easy one for sure.
All right. Give me what you got.
So, big college football fan. That's my favorite sport of any of them. My favorite level is college football. We're an Oklahoma Sooners family.
All right.
Not only did we grow up, my grandpa was born and raised in Oklahoma. My dad is an Oklahoma fan. But the first year where I started playing like flag football and was really like actually paying attention to football, and I would watch it on Saturday with my dad. Oklahoma, it's 1999 going into 2000. Oklahoma wins a national championship. So my first experience where I'm actually watching it, the team I'm watching wins the national championship. I'm hooked for life, and I'm still here.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at. Nothing crazy. I was born into it, but that being there for that year, it was. I'll tell you a funny part of it. We're from Texas, so for the Red River rivalry.
Oh God.
For the Red River rivalry, I hadn't settled on my team yet, and I cheered for Texas, and they got smashed 63-14, and it was very easy to make that flip at that point. Okay, so I'm a Sooner now.
That's fantastic. How about you, Pate? What you got?
Yeah, so we grew up in Central Texas, San Antonio area.
Okay.
So in the heart of Longhorns and Aggies. And
that is correct.
I'm not going to say Oklahoma because I have like a football team for almost every level of football there is.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about my favorite FCS team. And the reason I'm a fan, it's that a team, they played their first football game ever this year, which was the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, down by the border. So when I was like 22, I was living in San Antonio. I was working in bars. Actually, I was 21, living in San Antonio, working in bars. I moved down to the border of Texas, down by right there, down on the border, and about probably 2-minute walk away from the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley campus. I lived in the town Edinburgh for 2 years before I eventually joined the military. When I was down there, I kept walking around. I'm like, man, this place, it's just set up to have like a really good FCS football team. And I've always loved FCS football. And then I joined the Army. And a year after I joined the Army and left that town, it was announced that they were starting a football team. And me and Devin, along with my fiance, and we actually got to go to the inaugural game this year at the University of Rio Grande Valley, and they beat some terrible Division II team by like 70 points.
Was that the picture that you sent us?
Yeah, that was at the UTR. So they ended up buying a stadium. They got all this like really good funding for an FCS team. It's really fun. I went to 2 games or 3 games this year for them.
That's awesome.
Had a lot of fun, and it was So I'm a UTRGV FCS football fan. I'm a UTSA Group of 6 football fan, and my favorite team of all time, as Devin said, is Oklahoma football.
All right. Boom.
And then
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner.
All right, so we've got we're building one of the really cool things about this. Just like I reached out to y'all, I've reached out to a lot of different content creators, and you build a network of just people to reach out to, and it's pretty dope to get the opportunity to do this, right? One of the people that we work with from the Run Your Mouth podcast is Antonio. What's Antonio's last name? And it's like I want to say Smith, but I mean. So Tone's an Oklahoma fan as well, and so I'm definitely gonna reach back out to y'all in February. I almost said next month because it's damn near January. But we are, man. So
say next month.
Well, yeah, pretty much. So I'll tell you what's happening, man. We're doing we're after this fantasy football league finishes up next weekend is the championship celebration that Ant will not be participating in as a matchup winner. We will be after that next weekend in Fayetteville. We'll be having our fantasy football fan fest. But after that, I've actually started writing the scripts for 8 series docuseries about the greatest dynasties in college football. And so one of the teams that I focus on, obviously, is that Oklahoma team, particularly around the 99, the 10-year 99, when they won that championship. That was kind of the culmination of, or if you will, a coronation of Bob Stoops and what he had done to build that program back into the greatness that Oklahoma was in the 80s and in the early 90s. And so it was cool to see that championship. I remember that. I'm 40. I remember that championship very, very well. I was 15. And I also...
Excuse me. Hey, guys from the tailgate, y'all noticed that he called me old at 41, but then he goes, "Oh, my bad, I'm 40." You see the bullshit and shenanigans I got to deal with? See, that's some bullshit. I'm 41.
So, but yeah, man, look, so I'm definitely looking forward to having you guys be a part of that docuseries. It'll probably be about 15 questions that we'll have just asking about what a dynasty looks like, what it felt like going through that. Like you said, Devin, that was kind of your first welcoming into the Sooner culture, and watching them win a ring and the dominance they went through in the Big 12 and the Big 10 or the Big 8 and all of that. So that's going to be pretty fun to have that conversation. I'm looking forward to that. Before we get into college football as a whole, there was something that you guys mentioned that I thought was worth re-mentioning on air. For those that are joining us, thank y'all for joining. We're talking with Devin and Peyton from the Tailgate Sports Media podcast. And so we'll start with I'll kind of skip ahead to where you guys were talking about how you kind of got into the name Tailgate, and it came from you guys being barbecue aficionados and barbecue masters, right? Obviously, Devin's got the pit master.
No. You call them pit masters.
Pit master. That's the name. All right. I didn't want to say the wrong name.
No, you call them correctly. I want you to understand. You call them correctly. They are pit masters.
The pit
That's
masters.
What they are.
All right. Very good.
Yes.
So from there, you guys developed sort of some etiquette housekeeping rules of tailgating. So talk a little bit about the tailgating etiquette that needs to be properly shown.
Well, you got a few hard rules that you got to follow. Every tailgate's different. You're catering to a bunch of different people, so how you do it. There's a couple different things though. The number one rule of a tailgate is the food that you're providing, right, and it's got to be consumed in one way: a beer in one hand and the food in the other. If you can't do that, it's not tailgate food. If you're using a fork and a knife, you're wrong. So just don't bring it. If you're doing sandwiches or burgers, you better have a good grip on there. We've done pulled pork sandwiches at a tailgate before. We did the Alamo Bowl a couple years ago. It was pulled pork sandwiches. We were just throwing them out. That's a one-hand thing. You can smash that no problem.
Yeah.
Couple other things. You got to have drinks. Preferably our drinks have alcohol. I don't judge if yours don't have any alcohol in it, but you got to have drinks, and they got to have
big kid drinks.
And if you can't do all the drinks, you better have everybody on the same page. Hey, if you know about the tailgate ahead of time, you better be bringing drinks.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So, all right, let me jump in here. So, I live in Baton Rouge now, and I'm an Arkansas Razorback fan, as is Anthony. But I live in Baton Rouge now, and I will tell you now, I haven't been to a tailgate yet, but I know that they do a lot of fork and knife type food. Look at Peyton. Listen, they also spell go wrong, so you can't really trust anything they say. But I got to tell you, it's hard to argue. If somebody hands you a bowl of jambalaya, it's kind of hard. I don't know how I'm going to eat it while drinking my beer. Some of them have the beer straw hats, I guess. Is that acceptable to have a straw in your beer?
If it's in the hat form, it's 100% acceptable. Otherwise, you're drinking a lady drink.
Look, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, look, Peyton, I ain't gonna lie to you. I really thought you were gonna be like flag on the play. I thought a yellow flag out of you. Hey, I thought the referee out of you. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the referee out of you was about to come out. Flag on the play, not acceptable. 15-yard penalty. Don't sit by the commodes. Like, I already expected that. Because, man, look, I was handed. So, I do a lot of work. I'm a kitchen manager in a restaurant, man. And I got to go to one of their tailgates. Great tailgate. I cannot shit on them at all. It was a great tailgate. Food was amazing. All right. But I was handed, it was like, hey, man, here's the bowl. And I'm not lying to you. Like, this is straight up no bullshit. All right. And so I think the reason why Blocker brings this up, because I told him the story. So I go up and, I've been drinking. We're having a good time. We're cheering on the Razorbacks. I'm about to lose for the 18th time. It doesn't matter. Right? It's homecoming. We're having a good time. The guy hands me a styrofoam bowl. He goes, And so I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna take this hat off real quick because I want you guys to see how serious I am. Styrofoam bowl, right? Hey man, we go to tailgate. I'm thinking there's gonna be some hot dogs, some quick little burgers, slider burgers, whatever. No, it was straight jambalaya, like jambalaya, straight up. But it was good as shit, right? It was probably the best fucking jambalaya.
Delicious. It's delicious.
So I know we're worried about the hard rule.
Yeah. I cannot handle holding the food and my beer at the same time. It was like, what do I want first? So I put it down. I don't eat. I finish it. There's another styrofoam bowl next to me. Hey, did you eat?
Yeah, listen.
And you're looking at them and you're like, you don't want to be disrespectful. And they're like, no, I just ate.
You better not.
Hey, you just take the bowl. So like you like literally just take the bowl and you're like, oh, I haven't ate yet. I think I had like 5 helpings in between like a 30-minute span. All right. And the guy goes, are you not full? That's the guy behind me, right? He goes, are you not full? I'm like, yo, man, I don't know if I can sit here anymore, man. I think I've had like 4 or 5 bowls, man. I think I'm done. He's like, all right, well, you ready? You ready? I was like, what are we ready for? Mind you, been there since 11 o'clock. Right? Been there since 11. The game starts at 3. 5 bowls later, he goes, are you ready? I'm confused. What do you mean, are we ready?
It's time to eat. It's time to eat.
You ready? It's time to walk this off. Excuse me? Like, I was just trying to, like, allow this food that I just ate to settle. Oh, you ready to go tailgate? And, like, I mean, if you finish tailgate, we're going into the game now. Game starts in, like, 20 minutes. Huh?
Yeah,
I swear to you, I swear to you, I think I walked like a penguin. I walked like a penguin. And by the way, I want you to say I'm a pretty fat dude, right? I'm like 210 pounds. I'm a pretty big dude.
Wait till y'all know how big I am.
Across the street, and it took me probably about 5 minutes to cross the crosswalk just to get just to get across the street. It took me another 45 minutes to get into my seat. That's me walking. That's how much I ate. So look, eating jambalaya is not always the great thing. Look, man, the little finger foods. Look, man, y'all know all of a sudden little finger foods.
That starch and that rice kind of tears you down. And now, oh my God! Now that I think about it, I'm sorry, fellas. I just had an epiphany. It all makes sense now. All right, they're really nice to you here, and they'll pass you 100 bowls of jambalaya rice and all that starch and gumbo and etouffee and all of this stuff. It all makes sense. All that starch and them carbs is gonna tire you out. You've been eating since 12, and the game's at 7. So you're sleepy as the dickens. There ain't no rah you by the time the ball game starts because you got all that starch and oh my God, these people are evil. They really are doing voodoo and magic down here.
No, it's bullshit. Devin and Peyton, let me ask y'all: have y'all ever been to like you guys done tailgating to a point where you guys have ate and you just don't realize you ate so much, but you think you drinking a lot? But once that food hits your system, it's like you're like, oh man, you sit here and you're like, oh, you done now?
Yeah,
like,
you're nodding off. You're nodding off. You're nodding off because you're not thinking about it. Oh my God! You guys just unlocked the secret to the dangers of traveling to away games.
Yep.
Y'all, has this been y'all's plan the whole time to reveal this on our show? The dangers of traveling as an away team. You go and you eat with them. That's why y'all are nice enough to give like finger foods. They're giving us full course meals down here at Baton Rouge. Holy smokes. You guys are geniuses. You guys are geniuses. Yeah.
That is it. You also have to understand you only have so much room, right?
Yep.
And my priority in a tailgate is the drinking, less of the eating.
Yeah.
So while I do eat, the eating is just so that I can function with the drinking.
This is you're not just good looking, buddy. You got brains too. You're the full package.
Oh no, man. I don't start calling him referee Peyton. He needs to start throwing red fucking flags and yellow flags out there if something is wrong or being said. Yo, you really do look like a standard NFL college football referee, dude. I'm sorry. I am not going to be the first person to say, if I am the first person, I'm sorry. But, dude, you are probably one of the most handsomest fucking dudes that have ever been on this podcast, but you look like you about to throw a yellow flag.
It's the mustache. That's a top-notch mustache, Peyton. I got to tell you. That is a top-notch mustache, and I'm proud of it. All right, we've been full of horse manure for literally 20 minutes. So let's keep going. All right. So first things first, the college football playoffs. So before that, how about we start with give me a best and worst from college football this year. Whatever you liked the most, whatever you hated the most. Give me a best and worst from college football this year. Just the season as a whole.
Season as a whole. Best is Notre Dame not making the playoffs. Win a conference. You losers. I'm tired of them just basically getting an auto bid, and then they play three ranked opponents all year. Lose to the two good ones. The one ranked opponent that they played that they beat was okay. Like, join a conference. So my best is that Notre Dame didn't make the playoffs.
He's spitting.
My worst is Oklahoma losing to Texas. As an Oklahoma fan,
sorry. I choked on my spit.
You weren't the only one.
So, as an OU fan, me and my family, it's like one of the few games we get together and watch the games together because we all live in different places.
Right.
So I go down, we all go to my parents' house to watch the Oklahoma-Texas game, the Red River rivalry, Red River shootout, if you're an American. Basically, they got robbed. I don't want to say it. There's a few penalties that definitely weren't called that led to points directly. And I was about to throw my father's remote through my father's TV. Wouldn't do it to my own TV, but.
How about you, Dave? What you got? What you got for best and worst?
Worst of the season, yeah, definitely Oklahoma losing to Texas. Big part about that being is living in South Central Texas. Everyone around here is a Texas fan. Here's the problem with most Texas fans, and they don't tell you about this. Most Texas fans are lily soft, all right? They're soft, all right? Baby food. They won't talk about nothing all year. They won't say nothing. As soon as they beat your team, it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen in a rivalry game. It doesn't matter who's playing in a rivalry game. If they're somewhat similar, anything can happen. We lost, okay. And then all of a sudden, they haven't been talking all year.
You get mighty loud out of nowhere.
Oklahoma still sucks. And it's like, brother, get out of my face. Right? They've been talking to me because we lost in the playoff. I'm like, how did y'all do in the playoff this year? Oh, you weren't there. You weren't there. Go lose to Florida again. I don't care. Get out of my face. So the worst part of college football this year, next year, every year for on Texas fans. Y'all are the worst.
Oh my! Hey, that was look. Can I get a second, real quick? Can I get a second? So both of y'all had some really extreme points, but both of y'all came on different levels. All right, you sitting here talking about Michigan State, and then you sitting here and talking about Texas. Man, that's just like a clashing of laughter right there itself. Like, oh my God! Yeah. I do have a question. I really hope that are any of your families gonna watch this?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
they better be supporting us every time.
Yeah. Yep. He's saying wordy nerds. So all right, Devs.
No. Boomer. Why do y'all call yourselves Boomer?
You don't want to. You don't want to.
Hold on. It's a long history. Let him give his best, and then we'll get into. We'll give you an Oklahoma history lesson here in a bit.
Peyton, you go first. What's your best?
I already did my best.
He did his best with Notre Dame
making the playoffs.
What's the best part? What was the best part of this year?
Look, my best on this year is watching Arch Manning and Texas fall from #1 of an opinionated ranking which was bullshit. Glad they lost. I think the worst that I think I've watched what I've seen is Michigan State's coach become a scandal.
Michigan coach?
Michigan State's coach, Sharon Moore.
OU alum. Boomer.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting for football. It's disgusting for college football players. It's disgusting if you watch a coach and you expect this guy to do and lead you where you're supposed to go, and you can't even do that. You can't even finish out a season. And sorry, you know what? The worst is Lane Kiffin going to LSU.
All right, so let me.
You know what? Fuck Sharon Moore. So you had the headline. Lane Kiffin going to LSU was terrible.
Let me tell you though. Let me tell you why it's not that bad. All right, because and I'll admit I was just talking. Shout out my man Kenny, the former LSU linebacker, former Alabama coach. So he was familiar with Kiffin. I think he got to Alabama right as Kiffin was about to leave. And he talked about how good Kiffin's offensive mind and what it could mean for LSU and these freak athletes that they have down here. And that is scary. I will admit that. But before we get too far into this thing, what has Lane Kiffin won? Anybody want to laud his resume? Has he been to a conference championship?
I know he won. Divorce
Every 19, 20, and 21-year-old girl that's been there that exposed him for his stack negligence. That's what he won. I dare you.
So look, I got
likely Kiffin at all.
I got to shout out the comment section. My man Clint Jordan, he lives in Dallas, and so naturally he knows as well. For reference, this guy was in my elementary class, and he's been funny literally the entire time I've known him. So nearly 40 years. But absolute truth. And so we are definitely shout out to everybody joining us on all of our. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook Live right now. So Anthony, all of my church people see you cussing, just so you know.
It's not Sunday. It's not Sunday. I don't like that.
So that the interesting thing about Sharon Moore, his time as a head coach at Michigan, the thing that saved him the last 2 years was beating Ohio State. And it's quite the coincidence, which I don't normally subscribe to, that all of a sudden this staffer comes out or whoever comes out about Sharon Moore's affairs, as if it hadn't been happening for years on years, right? But the year that he loses to Ohio State happens to be the same year that all of a sudden now they're all of a sudden they found out that he's been dabbling outside of his marriage. But then here's the part that gets me the most. They go and sign Kyle Whittingham. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Michigan with the whole thing. So Kyle Whittingham, who's been dominating out in Utah, is now the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines.
Where Kane Archer is going, by the way.
Kane's going to Michigan?
Kane is going to Utah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he'll fit in Utah. They're going to just move their offensive coordinator up to be the head coach. That's not that hard. They won't even quit recruiting. It's the same. Shout out to Kane Archer, by the way. But that's going to be a good deal for Michigan. There's a lot of really great benefits for Michigan in the midst of all of this, and the timing to me is quite ill. But there has, Ant alluded to it. There's been a good deal of coaching changes. Talk a little bit about the coaching changes and the atmosphere, the coaching landscape after the dust has settled here for college football. Anything that stick out to y'all?
I think the craziest one is, and it's funny to think about it because just everything that it did that changed it. Penn State firing James Franklin
Yeah,
was so crazy. And yes, this was supposed to be their year. This was the year to do it. But college football gets harder and harder every year, with just
absolutely.
how the gap between top programs gets a little bit closer every year with
Mm-hmm.
NIL and everything. They
Yep.
fired him, they let him go. He obviously losing to UCLA is a huge deal, and the whole season derailed after that. They fire him.
Sure.
But they fire him. He goes to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech takes every recruit that they have on the board. Penn State picks up Iowa State's coach, Matt Campbell, and
Yeah,
they
great.
start picking up every Iowa State player. So somehow by firing James Franklin, you have now screwed over Iowa State. If I told you that 3 months ago, you would think I was on drugs.
Hey,
But
what does that matter?
because I'm on a legalistic side, so that's different. I'm allowed to be on
It's
neither. But
crazy.
it's
That no, I didn't even think about that. Like I'm sitting
Yeah.
here as you say that, and as you said that verbatimly, I'm sitting here going, "Yo," like I just had an epiphany. Like, "Yo, you're right." Because Iowa State top 25 team.
Yep.
And
And
here's the
now,
thing historically with the Iowa State that no one talks about either is Iowa State historically is a bottom of the barrel program.
mhm.
So Will or Coach Campbell being their coach, or Matt Campbell, not Will Campbell, but anyway, he leaving this program, like this program, I'm almost within an 80% positive percentage of being accurate. They're returning to the dump.
Oh
Like,
yeah, without question.
and it sucks for them because Iowa State's like, what did we do? But
Yeah.
that's what you get for living in Iowa. So
Well, and you know what? I think back to bringing this all back full circle to Lane Kiffin.
Yo,
When
you
Lane Kiffin,
were no, hold
that's
on.
funny.
You were wrong. That right there. Please make sure that is clipped as one of our favorites for 2025. Nah, man, that gets clipped. All right, that's what you get for living.
Bingo. But yeah, so what's funny is you find out where your team really ranks in things, right? Peyton Manning was disgusted with Lane Kiffin when he left Tennessee to go to USC, and he said I recall him saying, I never looked at the Tennessee Volunteer, the University of Tennessee, as a stepping stone. They always saw themselves as a destination program. And the coaching carousel will very quickly humble you. You look at I'm us, of course, we're Razorback fans. We've got 3 Fortune 500 companies dumping money into our program. So imagine how we feel when the best coach available for us is Ryan Silverfield. No shade to him. He's done a great job at Memphis, and I pray to God he makes us relevant in the SEC. But when you look at the defensive coordinator from Washington, the defensive coordinator from Michigan, there's a lot of different coaches who had opportunities that went and took head coaching jobs at other places that were either looked over by our athletic director or they turned us down. You really, the coaching carousel can humble you as a program and what you think you're going to get. Even worse than any recruit. A recruit leaves you for $10 million in NIL money somewhere else. Fine, it kind of is what it is. But when the coach doesn't come,
So let me explain a little something to you guys about what this NIL does. So I can't name names because it's not fair. I'm not allowed to. Just know that I work for someone who has agents that he has friends that are agents for people. And Bobby Petrino came in and they were talking about one of our running backs running, and he came into the restaurant, and he was talking, and he was like, first thing, the guy asked him, he's like, "Hey man, so why is he leaving?" "Oh well, y'all ain't offering any money." So NIL does play a major part. It doesn't matter. I don't care who you are. It has changed the dynamic of sports. It's changed the dynamic of how we watch our college football. And we can be fans of it, but we can also hate it at the same time because it's not fair. All right. Some of these guys, some of these teams may be able to offer more money based on what we got. And to conclude on what Blocker was saying, is that we have three major corporations, three of the biggest conglomerates in the world in Arkansas. We have Tyson's, we have JB Hunt, and we have Walmart, right? And we still can't even afford, besides Coach Calipari being here.
Well, it ain't that we can't afford it. We can afford it.
Well, it's not like we can't, we don't want to.
Right.
Devin and Peyton, y'all understand where this comes in, where politics do come into play when we're watching and looking at our sports now. It's not the same anymore. It's really not the same way we grew up watching it. Is not the same the way we're watching it now.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And the NIL had and so look, I played college football. I played at a small school in Southwest Arkansas. So shout out to you, Peyton. Thank you very much for pointing out, because a lot of teams do talk. A lot of people come in and they do talk about the Alabamas and the Miamis and all the SEC and Big Ten schools and so forth. But nobody's paying attention to what's happening at the FCS level and going forward from there. So that's really, really cool that you guys get the opportunity to be a part of that. But man, I played at the Division II level. I know what it looks like. I know how, for every Bryce Young who was making more money than his offensive coordinator, there's a Traylon Burks who got the opportunity to not only afford the pet care for his service animal, but also get to put money in his family's pocket from NIL. Man, the NIL, I don't want to ever paint the picture that the NIL and the transfer portal aren't helping people who it needs to help. But there are those who are, to be frank, and I hate to use the phrase, but they are abusing it. They are taking advantage of it and making it work for them. And I can't be mad about it, but at the same time, that, like I said, this is the world we live in. This is what you get for living in Iowa. So,
look. Don't live it. Look to the fans out there. Don't live in Iowa. Obviously, you're not going to make money. So I just want to throw that out there. As Peyton said, don't live in Iowa. It's not a good thing. Obviously, he travels the country. He knows what's good and what's not. I've never been to Iowa, but I will take this man's word. He serves. I'm gonna take that man's word. Iowa, don't go.
I'm willing to bet every dollar in my bank account right now. Peyton's never been to Iowa right now.
Driven through Iowa.
All right, that's close enough. If you've driven through, you've probably seen all there is to see. I shout out my homegirl Sarah Ernst that I used to work with. She's from Cedar Rapids, and she's given me enough of a description to know exactly what's in Iowa. So there's a few things that are in Iowa, but for the most part, we're looking at it, and that's it. It's corn, us, and we move. That's it.
Okay. No, I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to ask you both, Peyton and Devin. So given the state of what we are going through and what we're talking about, coaching changes, the NIL. You know how the NBA Cup does a tournament, right? Okay. And the NBA does an NBA Cup tournament. They give players who don't have much money. They're not making much, but they give, right? Imagine that in college football without the NIL.
So would you rather that than the NIL?
I would rather that than the NIL, because then it'll make people want to stay to make that money that they're going to make. If you're a star, you're going to make it. If you're the one that's you got 200 rushing yards in a game, and you're the MVP, you deserve the big bucks. But I want guys to stay. It's to me, I feel like it's a level of commitment. I don't know about y'all, Devin, Payton. I don't know if y'all believe in commitment, but to me personally, I believe in commitment. I believe commitment is 100% a real thing, and it should be a real thing in college football to show these kids what it's like and what it needs to be done to be loyal. Loyalty is hard to come by.
Touche.
And that's being real. So I want to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about that? My decision, my thoughts on that. What do y'all think about what I'm saying?
I think that college football. I mean, there definitely just needs to be parameters around NIL as far as like if you sign if you sign on with a team like for X amount of dollars out of high school, there needs to be like you can't transfer for 2 years, and then
Okay.
when you transfer again, you can transfer to wherever you want to go after those 2 years are up, but then you might have to sign another contract. And then the other flip side of that is a school can give you less money, so less NIL, less of their NIL budget, but then you're able to transfer whenever you want.
Yeah, so just like contracts, like player options, things like that. Team
100%.
options.
I mean, that's what it is. It's just professional sports before you hit the pros. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's NIL in Texas high school football now. So, like the fact that there's NIL, like I saw a post like a year ago. It was some 12-year-old saying that his recruitment for 12U football is up. he's decommitted from some team and he's ready to be recruited. So like it was like, I don't know if y'all know who Hayes Fawcett is, but Hayes Fawcett
Yes.
like 12U.
I feel like I've seen that name now. Yeah.
So, he's played 12 years in the college football era, and he's making money. 12 years later, he's like 33 years old.
No. It's like 12-year-old.
Yeah, 12 and under.
I was about the 32. Oh, my fault. I was about the 33-year-old that's making money as a college football player and still making money and has not. He just keeps getting eligible to keep playing and coming back.
With some Miami tight end, he played 8 years of college football.
Yep, sure did.
But
TJ Finley right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say TJ Finley's about to go to his 7th team.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure TJ Finley, and I've said it before, TJ Finley is just going from state to state to state. Like, this is where I'm going to live and sell cars or insurance or whatever after college
he's just
football.
trying to figure out.
And I'm just trying to figure out the best place to live right now.
Who was it? There was an offensive lineman from like the University of Houston or somewhere. I want to say it was the Jaguars or somebody. He updated his resume on LinkedIn as his like going away letter to after the season. Like this is I want to say South Alabama or somebody like that. It's super funny, man. Like it's hilarious it's hilarious to see some of the things they're doing. All right, this is the last thing, and I know we kind of touched on Notre Dame. Anyways, last thing about college football before we jump into the pros, which we're kind of talking about the pros now. Anyways, talk a little bit about Notre Dame opting out of the bowl series this year.
Oh, cowards. The biggest cowards.
100%.
Now I take that back. Maybe not cowards, because we saw what happened to FSU when they got left out of the playoff.
Yeah.
They rightfully should have been in. They didn't show up. The players didn't want to be there. They're like, I'm not going to get hurt for a game that I shouldn't have been in the first place. They don't show up. They got beat by 57 points by Georgia or whatever it was. And then everyone's like, see, they shouldn't have been in the playoff. It's like, no, they're playing third stringers against a Georgia team that paid their players to be there. I get it. I feel bad for them because I feel like they should have been in Alabama, even with Alabama beating Oklahoma, which is crazy to say as an Oklahoma fan. But they had the 3 losses. They got spanked in the conference championship. I don't see them running it back and somehow being competitive against Georgia again.
Yeah. No, and the crazy part is, I mean, like that was, I think, so shout out to our T-shirt vendor from Candy Creations, T. She was talking about the same thing. She was like, I don't understand. We've already seen that Alabama beat Oklahoma, or I'm sorry, that Oklahoma beat Alabama. Why do we need to see it a third time, or a second time this season? And I was, to be honest with you, I was shocked that Alabama did win against Oklahoma. But when you got that many shots at them, yeah, you should be able to beat them the second time around. It's been madness. And I hate to say it that, the Razorbacks athletic director was like the lead for the chairman. He's the chairman of the committee this year. Yeah, the selection committee. And he did a terrible job on picking. I don't want to say that. He didn't find a sexy name. He also didn't find, Silverfield's not a defensive guy, and what I always felt like we needed as a Razorback team is to have a defensive coach, and he didn't get that. And so I don't know that this is a win yet. And I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, but I don't know if I'm going to be wrong. So he didn't select well with coaches. He didn't select well with the selection committee. God, at this point, I got to question his wife. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he's picking anybody right. No, it's been madness. And to also be fair, I'll tell you that I've always been a big fan of the madness of college football. I don't know if you guys remember the BCS and what that was like. Well, obviously you do. You saw the 99 championship. And like I said, bringing up the dynasties, the greatest dynasties docuseries that we'll be producing, that's something that's got to play a role in it, is that, the way they select their champions each year has been, there's never been a ironclad method. Even, look, man, I went to ChatGPT last night, 12 hours ago, and I said, I gave it 3 points, and then it came up with a math creative to tell me which team had done the most to be the greatest dynasty, right? And so when and even at that, like, it confused itself doing the math, trying to figure out who was the best. There's so many different variants and how each one plays into it. And we're just talking about teams that did win. This doesn't even include, like, when you talk about 3-win teams versus 2-win teams, those 2-loss teams, 2 loss versus 3 losses, and which loss was most important. It gets crazy. And I'll tell you, I'm a cheerleader for foolishness. So I'm all for this madness and chaos, to be honest with you. But I didn't want to see Alabama.
I got something to say. So
Okay.
I like what you said about Notre Dame. They are cowards. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like if you get an opportunity to play in this quote unquote bullshit era of college football playoffs, and you get an opportunity to play, why not take it? If not, here's my thing: if you don't get a bowl, I hate when teams. I watched last year when the NIL changed dramatically, where guys were following coaches and teams they didn't have enough players. Okay, they didn't have enough players to perform, so they had to quit.
Yeah, it was like Missouri State or somebody couldn't fill the team to come to a program.
Yeah, see, that's, to me personally, that is the most disrespectful thing you can do, not for the game, but for the fans that are spending all of this amount of money to go watch that team. It doesn't matter if it's JMU. It doesn't matter if it's in the Sun Belt League. It doesn't matter if it's ACC. You're spending money to go watch that team, and you don't even get an opportunity to watch that team. It is fucking, excuse me, Mama Blockman, there's another few dollars in the swear jar. There's a lot going to happen January 4th. By the way, whoever's going to get this free drink, they're going to get a lot of free drinks. Anyway, it's fucking disgusting. It really is. And I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from, because I've been preaching, loyalty and commitment is a really big thing to me. And if people aren't loyal to the team, what are you doing for the fans that are spending all of that hard money to watch that team? It's disgusting. It bothers me. I think Notre Dame are cowards. I think their fan base, they're idiotic. But the team itself is stupid. Like, that right there was a stupid move to me. I would have never done that. I don't care. If you give me 21, 22 players, let me take those 21, 22 players. If I got to do a Travis Hunter and move somebody from offense to defense, I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to do this whole I'm going to quit and give up on my team. That's disgusting. That's not. And it's not fan based, and it's not fun. As us as fans watching this, it's not fun.
Because they probably, I think the 4 weeks of extra practice, and which this speaks to the bigger issue. Obviously there's rumors, and now I would like to transition into the pros anyways. And there's rumors that are surfacing that Marcus Freeman is a hot name for a couple of the vacant head coaching vacancies around the pros. And so I think the reason why he let the players vote for this is because he was probably getting ready to go after the season anyways.
So here's the thing is like Notre Dame is one of the few schools that can compete with an NFL paycheck. Especially one of the few.
That's a good point.
One of the few schools that's not a public school that can compete with an NFL paycheck. And the other thing, so the only reason I feel like he would leave for the pros would be because whatever life or wherever he's going to live is better than whatever the schedule is in South Bend, Indiana for him. And that's being like, if he goes to the pros, he doesn't have to recruit 24/7. He doesn't have to constantly. So like if because historically speaking, the jump from a really good college head coach to becoming a really good NFL head coach is not the most successful jump. There's some that can do it. Your Pete Carroll's, technically Barry Switzer. As an OU fan, it hurts to say technically, but we kind of know why that worked out. And so Jimmy Johnson is another good one. But normally the way that you can't out Notre Dame beats 50% of the teams they play just because Jeremiah Love is in the backfield.
Yeah.
When you show up in the NFL, you're not going to show up with, whoever it is on your team being that much better. A good example of that is like, look at the turnaround that Chicago makes with basically no roster changes. Yep. And so my thing with this is if he can bring all of the coaching staff that he wants to bring, I would not see why not, because realistically the schedule is actually probably more favorable for a person in the NFL than it is in college nowadays, because college is a 24/7, 100-hour a week job constantly now. Whereas the NFL, you do have your off season.
Right.
And so I would say that the rumor's probably accurate. Like if you're a good college coach and an NFL team comes knocking, why not think about it?
Right. So I was looking it up while you were talking, and you're absolutely right. The schedule becomes so much easier when you join the pros.
Mm-hmm.
The two teams that already have vacancies are the Giants and the Titans. Now the Titans don't seem super duper favorable. They still got a lot of holes in their lineup that need to be filled in the draft. The Giants, however, they've got a squad. Honestly, if everybody comes back healthy, right? You get Malik Neighbors back. You've got something with Cam Scatterboo. You gotta like what you're seeing out of Jackson Dart offensively. Defensively, I think another year for Thibodeau, Burns, and what was the guy they drafted the end from Penn State that they drafted at number 3. That front line was Sexy Dexy. Who?
I'm talking about you're forgetting Jalen Carter.
No. I'm talking about the Giants, not the Eagles. But the Giants next year may have one of the best front seven in the NFL. That could be an enticing move for Marcus Freeman, and they've already made it clear that that's someone on their list to look at. The Titans also having started the inquiries about Marcus Freeman. I'm looking at a list of potential future openings. This is where I want to start with the pros. I've seen, I picked the Falcons to win the NFC South. I thought the Dolphins would have a better go at it than this. The Raiders, Browns, Bengals were other teams where there could be potential head coaching openings by the time the season ends. Is there if you're Marcus?
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Hey, Devin, hey, Peyton. So I forgot to tell you, he's an Eagle hater. but he is also from the other side of that Pittsburgh side. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
What
I
gave it
want you guys
away?
to understand where. I want you guys to understand the hatred and the bullshit that I'm hearing out of his mouth right now is absurd.
I haven't even
I
started
feel
yet.
like
Well, you know what?
you
Pause.
don't even have to. I'm gonna finish it for you. No,
All right. So hold
No.
on. But before you finish that sentence, don't we have something a bet that we need to clear? You guys are gonna love this. Don't we got a bet we need to clear? Because if I recall, and if I need to, I'll pull back all the way to the NFL fantasy draft where we made a bet.
Ain't no way you will.
I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna clip it and put it when we go into our links. But as I recall, there was someone saying that the Steelers weren't gonna have a better season than the Commanders. If I'm not mistaken. Anybody? Somebody who's a Commanders fan on this panel, right hand up. That's right. Right hand up. Who are we? Worse than the Steelers. So we made this bet all the way at the beginning of the season that the Steelers, who would have a better season, the Steelers or the Commanders. And to be fair, for what it's worth, I also picked the Commanders to win the East. So I was wrong about that. However, if I'm not mistaken, the bet was the loser had to come on air and say good things about the winners of the bet's team. So since I'm apparently spewing hate, why don't you balance us out and you say all the good things about the Steelers and our current, what are we, 9-6? Something like that.
All right, Devin and Kane. Hey, man, look, I'm sorry you guys have to deal with this before New Year's. This is crazy. I never thought that I would actually say this. Man, he's going to clip this so hard. He's going to clip this so hard. He's literally going to post this on everything. Look, man, the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably one of the most dangerous teams going into the playoffs if they can win out. I really hope they do. Mike Tomlin has not lost or had a losing season, even though I do consider 8-8 losing season. But hey, I'm not allowed to say that.
19 consecutive years.
It's 17. It's 19 consecutive. Is it 19?
Yeah.
Imagine your team just looking at the playoffs. You get there, you barely scrape. See, my team, we barely scraped. I'm the Washington Commanders. Last time we were good. Monty Coleman.
No, y'all were good last year. Y'all made the playoffs last year. They were good. They're a good team. I picked Washington to win the division. So,
look, last year we were overhyped. We got it, but injuries take a toll. They decided to focus on the second string. And here's my thing. I think in pro football, in NFL or college football, doesn't matter. If your backup can do what you can do, you're great. It's like it's like the Knicks, all right? And I hate bringing up the Knicks, but if you look at the Knicks and what they've done and with their bench, and I'm a Knicks fan, but if you look at what the bench has done when guys are out, guys step up. That's what college football should be. That's what the NFL should be. That's what the Commanders should have done.
As Mike Tomlin says, next man up. As Mike Tomlin says.
No, he's the greatest. He's the greatest coach of all time.
I'm not enjoying this, guys.
I got something nice to say about the Steelers too. I think the Steelers are a great organization for being a place for old, washed-up quarterbacks to go and retire.
You know what? I'm not going to argue with you. That didn't sound bad at all.
Sorry,
We do have.
say that. Sir, you're not allowed to say that. And the reason why, there is no disrespect or hatred towards the Pittsburgh Steelers. But your analysis is spot on, sir.
Listen, I won't argue with it. We still gonna lose in the first round. Is what it is. But
Funny story.
Okay.
Our father played in the high school All-American game with Jerome Bettis.
Jesus Christ. He wasn't a defender, was he?
No, he was a running back. So him and Jerome Bettis were on the.
He didn't run very much.
Well,
I was going to say, hey,
the big fella
was
can
the
eat.
defender. Right over it.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's a low. Like I don't. That's like trying to tackle a moving refrigerator. That's a big man. That's pretty awesome though, man. Do y'all have a pro team?
Wait, no, I wanted to ask them. So they're both Oklahoma Sooner fans. Who is the best Oklahoma Sooner to come out and play in the NFL?
Oh, that's interesting. Is it?
Time is hard.
It's your opinion. You guys' opinion. Who's the best Oklahoma Sooner to come out and play in the NFL? Who's y'all's pick?
I'd say my favorite Sooner ever is Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
Dude went through a lot to get to where he is and prove that he is an NFL starting quarterback. Earlier, Adrian Peterson. That dude dominated in college. If he had literally any lick of a defense for most years, he would have won multiple national championships. Same with Baker. Baker would have won it in 2017 if they had a defense that could stop Georgia from scoring 54. But Adrian Peterson not only dominated in college, but then he went to the NFL and he did it as well. 294 yards, I believe, is still the rushing yard record.
It is.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's pretty damn close.
And I think he did that against us.
No,
He's got some highlights against us, man. Adrian Peterson was a unreal video game like player, and God bless. I was racking my brain to kind of go through the different Sooners going to the pros, and no, he's as good as it gets, without a doubt.
Yeah. So, what you got?
So, I'll throw it back to like a Keith Jackson, tight end. But I'm a defense guy, so my favorite, besides obviously every OU fan's every OU fan's favorite player is Baker Mayfield. It's a fact. But defensively, my favorite pro is the current starting strong safety for the Chargers, Tony Jefferson.
Okay. All right. Great name. Great player.
Didn't get drafted.
Great player.
Didn't get drafted, but he's been in the pros now for almost 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard thing to do when you're playing safety. So
yeah, man, drafted, not drafted, doesn't matter. You got to work at that D-back position, and especially at the safety spot, because a lot of times you have to play in the box. To go from undrafted to a 13-year career is impressive.
While we're talking about that, now, Peyton, one of y'all got to answer this, and I hope both of y'all do. What was it like knowing that your Oklahoma QB got tackled by an Arkansas police officer? Please explain that and what y'all went through and how turmoil that was. Like, please explain that.
That's a man that's a man that's got my spirit. That's a man that's not afraid of nobody. He ain't afraid of that police officer. He ain't afraid of your defense.
Yeah.
Well, also judging by that police officer's tackling, Arkansas could use him. So,
we tried to sign him. That's good.
I know that was probably like one of the low blows, knowing that he was over there getting drunk on Dixon Street, got tackled, trying to run away. And he still recalls it to this day, saying it was probably not his finest moment. But knowing that well, he said, "Man, I didn't know that police officer was going to be that fast." Like, it's funny when he thinks about it. Like, but I want to ask Oklahoma Sooner fans what that was like, because you guys are the first Oklahoma Sooner fans we've had on, and I want to ask that, man. Like, see somebody do that, be dumbfounded Not a guy chasing him and then turn around and actually lead a team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
That's what
after
he's
getting
doing.
shitted on by Carolina Panthers, and then moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and actually having a fulfilled career where he is now the starting quarterback of a team that could possibly do something this year.
All
What are
right.
you guys' takes on the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield?
So because I'm a Baker fan, I am a Bucks fan. Hasn't been too great right now. We're not. Carolina is doing better than it. The
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Bucks right
Yeah, that's
now.
it.
The problem is no defense.
Mhm.
Tampa, that's the issue. Their offense is great. Even they're like the only NFL team that's 7 deep at wide receiver. But yeah, the big problem with the Buccaneers is the fact that they don't have a defense, and without a defense, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. So
Yeah, no defense, no ring. That's a fact. Talk a little bit. All right, so let me ask you the two hardest questions I think that have to be answered in the NFL. The first one is, who would you say is your MVP? And then the second one would be, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Or don't even give me the winner. Give me the two teams that are going to make it to the Super Bowl.
all right, my MVP would
Okay.
be Patrick Surtain for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, lock down.
I don't think there's an offensive player that deserves it this year, besides maybe a Josh Allen. But here's the thing with MVP is I understand. Yeah, no, I don't think there's an offensive player besides a Josh Allen. You could say Drake May as well, but I don't think outside of those two, I don't think there's an offensive player that deserves it more than like a person like Patrick Surtain does. That being said, if I was going to pick a Super Bowl winner, it would be either the Broncos or the Chargers right now. In my
Okay. All right.
that's who I would go to.
All right. What you got, Dev?
We're kind of on the same page. I'm like, I almost want to say Chargers. I feel like the next time I think the Chargers see the Broncos again in the playoffs, and I think they figure it out this time. And the Broncos have a great record, but they also, like the Chiefs did last year, have the most one possession
Yeah,
wins.
I was just about to say they've only won 2 games by double digits this season. So I mean, we're
One
talking
beat my Cowboys. So yeah, no, we know, we know. No, I'm trying to think NFC. I think the Bears have a shot. I think the Bears have a good shot. The Packers look really good too. If the Bears and Packers meet up again, I think that's another really good game.
and I believe they do meet one more time.
Well, I think they played. Was it last week they played? I'm not sure if they play again. If they do, I hate all these division games running like back to back towards the end of the season. You got to figure that out.
Spread that out.
Cowboys are playing the Commanders twice in the last like 4 weeks, which is silly or whatever. Or no,
So
they're playing the Giants this week.
What's your MVP take?
I don't know if I have an MVP. Like first of all, I'm a football fan. I'm a bad players fan. Like Oklahoma Sooners, I might be able to name 6 players. All right.
Okay.
I'm a fan of the team, not necessarily the players.
The player. Okay.
It's gonna be the MVP is always gonna be the quarterback award. It's just the
Yeah,
way
I know.
football is now. It's disgusting. Everybody hates it. Uh Josh Allen, I
I
think
like that guy.
Josh Allen has single-handedly willed that team into the playoffs. Because
Yeah.
if you look at what he has around him, it's not much.
James
So,
Cook, that's
I
it.
mean, breaking it down, most valuable player, I think it's got to be Josh Allen. Almost. I mean,
And who you got for? Who
I
you
got
got
one
for
for
MVP?
you.
Okay.
I got something for you. All right. So I've been sitting here listening to this shenanigans, and we always call this shenanigans. Devin and Peyton, we call these the things that we talk about. We don't call it debates. We call it shenanigans. All right.
It's what it turns
So
into.
shenanigans that the shenanigans I just fucking heard. I just wanted to throw up in my mouth. All right. So let me explain something to you. First off, how the hell do you have Patrick Surtain as an MVP and not Jonathan Taylor? What?
Well, all right. So
How do you have the no. I'm bringing something here.
okay.
Jonathan Taylor has been one of the best offensive players in 2025. He's been better than C-Mac, Saquon Barkley. Look, please stop if the list continues. He's been better than Josh Allen. He's been better than Baker Mayfield. He's been better than Philip Rivers. Oh my bad. Phil Rivers just came back. Let me just continue to talk shit. Please, how the hell can Jonathan Taylor not be in the top 3 discussion of MVP?
All right. So I up until about 3 weeks ago, Jonathan Taylor was my MVP. However, Peyton actually brings up a pretty good point. We just said it. The Broncos have only won 2 games by double digits this year, right? Which means that their defense has been locking up. And so if your defense is the reason that you're winning, you got to go with the best player on that defense, and the best player is
the last MVP who was a defensive player. I'll wait.
It was 1986. It was Lawrence Taylor. Remember we talked about he missed that question in the trivia that we did for our fantasy.
No, I did not. I
just want to say that I played defensive back, not at a high level, but I love defensive back work. So I'm always going to side with the defensive backs and the defensive backs that I like to watch. So shout out defense. But yeah, so do I think Patrick Surtain will win it? No. He'll probably be like
but should he win defensive player of the year? Yes.
But that's my point is, especially in a league like today's league where the most important player on a team outside of your quarterback is either your pass rusher or a lockdown corner. And if you have one of those, your team's going to be really good.
All right, so let me jump in right here.
No, he's on to something. Wait, he's on to something. You are definitely on to something. See, that's where my argument was coming from. Where it's like, if we're talking about the most valuable player, right? When we're looking at the NBA, we're looking at the most valuable player. If we're looking at the Major League Baseball level, we're talking about the most valuable player, not just one position. In the NFL, it is the most QB player of the year. That's pretty much what it is. Every quarterback always wins it.
So it sucks. Hashtag make the MVP not a quarterback award, please. But here's my thing. All right, so I'm with you to the MVP maybe should probably be it should definitely not always be a quarterback. And it should be if the best defense is what makes the Broncos the best team in the league, or second best team in the league, then the best player on that defense should be most valuable.
Hell, if we're talking about defense, Bronco, Ray Lewis should have won multiple damn fucking MVPs. Let's just keep it real. Ray Lewis should have won multiple MVPs as one of the best linebackers to ever play the game.
All right, so as a sports broadcast journalist, I have to agree with you that he was an outstanding linebacker.
So you could make an argument
I'll turn my head around.
By the way, it's more important.
Calls him a rat bird.
I haven't called him a rat bird in many weeks, many days. I haven't called him a rat bird in many days, so that's pretty good for me.
He couldn't even see he couldn't even say the Ravens' name. He just said that team that he played on. He couldn't even say the Ravens. He said that team. You see this shit?
I turned my head around, okay? I turned my head around to be a sports journalist.
I really hope you guys are having fun, man. I really hope you guys are having fun. Look, man. I do want to say something real quick. This episode was brought to you in part by final championship round. It is going to be at Sideways on Dixon Street. It is going to be an angry loss and someone's win. So I get to be the third person, third guy, consolidation prize, great, yay! Want to say thank you to everyone that joined in our league. Anybody that else wants to join in, we're taking serious people next year to get in. It's going to be fun. I want to say thank you to everybody that has joined in. Like I said, this was brought to you in part by our Fanatic Sports Talk Fantasy League Championship. So, you guys, as Rocka is having technical difficulties, I want to talk to you guys. So, we sit here, we talk about MVPs, and we sit here and talk about defense and offense, things like that. If you take away all of these offensive MVPs, how many defensive MVPs do you think we should have? Because I think there's a lot that should go around. Because without these teams, without these players, uh, take a look, man. I'm a Washington Redskins fan, Washington Commanders fan. You take Sean Taylor, right? Sean Taylor, one of the one of the hardest hitting safeties ever, right? But he never won. Didn't get to that level. Now you take Troy Polamalu, right? And you take what he did on a defensive level and what he brought to a Pittsburgh Steelers team. And I'm not sitting here doing this because I lost a bet. I'm looking at safeties. I'm looking at defense. Troy Polamalu, that year they won. Those years they won with Troy Polamalu as a safety, probably should have won the MVP award as a defensive player. And you look at what he did on the side. Like, he never let a run play get through. He was always there for a tackle. He had to go. He had the green light. He had the Steph Curry of all. You want to blitz, you blitz. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't a I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna look at the defensive coordinator. You want me to blitz now? No, he blitzed. Can I ask you guys, who do you think in the NFL was overrated as an MVP?
That's a big one. I'm trying to think because there's one that's recent, and I want to say it was last year's.
Last year's MVP should not have gone to a quarterback. It should have been a Patrick Surtain. It should have been somebody. I think last year's MVP threw for like 33 touchdowns. See, and we grew up in the era where quarterbacks that won MVPs were throwing for 50 touchdowns in 16 games. And
Right.
The fact that now quarterbacks are throwing for 33 touchdowns in 17 games, it probably means that they weren't the MVP. They were good. They just weren't the MVP.
That's a fair trade. Sorry, my computer crashed.
Devin, what you got? What you got?
Last year, I believe it was Josh Allen last year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was Josh
Yep.
Allen.
And here's the thing with MVPs award, it's always a quarterback and it's always a playoff team, which is where I come in with Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, great, best player on the Indianapolis Colts. He kept them stable for a very, very long time. With the Texans winning tonight, they're out of the playoffs. They won't even entertain the thought of it being Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
But last year, Saquon Barkley had an amazing year. His year was so good this year. He's not having a great year this year. Who had a better year than Josh Allen last year was Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had an explosive season last season. I know we're trying to avoid quarterbacks, but Joe Burrow had an explosive season last year, but his team didn't make the playoffs, and he drugged them into a mid record with no defense and no offensive line. And football guys know that the most important position outside of maybe your quarterback, even more important than the quarterback, are those front linemen on both sides of the ball. Everything you do goes through those guys right there. So with him not having that offensive line and not a defense to back him up, he still had a crazy good season. Doesn't matter
Can I
how
tell
good
you?
those guys are.
Yo, it's so crazy you say that because I sit here and I think about, like, who's the most important player on a football team. All right.
Mm.
Yeah, granted, you got your stars. All right. You can have a star like a Saquon Barkley, or you can have a Josh Allen as a QB, a Lamar Jackson. All right. One thing you just said that made a lot of sense that I agree on. I really do think I think the MVP award should go to an offensive or defensive player, meaning not QB or running back. I'm talking about your offensive lineman or your defensive lineman. And the reason why I say that, because if you have an offensive line that can block that and a QB, look at fucking Caleb Williams right now with an offensive line that actually is blocking for him under a system under Ben Johnson. It took him two coaches to look this good. It has to be an off. To me, I feel like so offensive linemen need to be credited more than just an offensive line award because you're stopping a team from being disgruntled. This team didn't look the same last year until Ben Johnson took over, and now they have he used this basically the same scheme, use the same players. You just put them in the system. And Broccoli, I always say this: you put you put a person in the perfect system.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you're the grocery bagger. It doesn't matter if you're Kurt Warner. You're in a great system. Can you throw the ball? Guess what? Can you run it? Can you run an offense? Can you understand what the line is doing? Can you maximize your protection every single time? I'm sorry, but I think hands down, I think there needs to be an MVP award given to an offensive lineman.
Which one would you pick?
Probably if you're right-handed, I'm picking the left tackle.
Well,
if you're left-handed, I'm picking the right tackle. I'm always going to pick the blind side because your blind side always has to be protected.
Well, I mean, all right. So then that takes out somebody like Panay.
But here's one thing. I know where you were going, but honestly, I think your center, who's the one that controls what's going on in the line and helps you determine that, your center should be an actual MVP.
Listen, there's a lot of names. It's just like it's the same madness as we talked about in college football as well. Like and make the Heisman a defensive player for once. Jesus Christ. The last defender that won a Heisman. The last one, right? The last two defenders that won Heisman also had to catch offensive touchdowns to prove that they were good enough to be a Heisman. It's dumb, but by that measure, Pat should have won a Heisman. Nick Bonito should have been in the race for the Heisman candidacy as well. But so tell me this: who you got in the Super Bowl? Who would you pick to win to play in the Super Bowl? Hank?
Honestly, if I'm looking at the NFC, and I know it sounds crazy, I don't have the Eagles going into the NFC. I actually have the silent and resilient right now, the team that just lost the other day. I'm sorry, but my hat goes off to, on the NFC side, the Detroit Lions. I think they're a scary offensive team. I think they're a scary offensive team.
They've been eliminated.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they're out because of the loss. The loss.
Wait, no.
Yeah, the loss. Yes, the other day, like on Christmas, that put them out.
Wait, did I miss something here?
Yeah. They are mathematically out of.
My bad. So sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not being a real sports analyst right now. I meant the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, my fault. I'm joking. I gotta be real serious. Lee, making me be serious, man. Making me be serious.
Well, I thought you were gonna say the Rams.
No, I actually like the Rams, but I think the Eagles they're still gonna run the tush push. I think the Eagles win the NFC. They're gonna go back, even though they have passing off problems. I think right now going in, We sit back and we look at the AFC side. I think the AFC is just out there. There's no team you can think of. I can say Broncos because of their defense, and if you guys remember, back in the day, Baltimore Ravens, they won on defense with a Trent Dilfer as their QB. They had Ray Lewis and all of that. So you look at the Denver Broncos; they don't really going to do much. Drake May, all he has to do is just game manage and let the defense just do what they do. I think Denver is just the scary team, but everybody talks about the Patriots, right? I don't think the Patriots are there yet. But my teams to go are the Philadelphia Eagles and the Denver Broncos.
You like the Eagles?
I told you, man. I was only bullshitting. I knew exactly what you're saying. I was only bullshitting. I knew the Lions were out. I just wanted to shout out to all Lions fans. Like, I don't care. I'm a troll. I'm gonna be that guy. Hey, I don't give a shit.
Horrible human being. All right. So I would say my dog disagrees with you. He disagrees with you. So that was a no bark. I know that every time. I would say I'm going Rams. I'm going Rams, and I'm going. I want to say the Broncos because their defense is that good. But I think their offense could be that bad at times. Now, what we saw the other day, what was that, Christmas, was pretty impressive to watch. Bo Nix recover from that early interception and start to play really good football when it mattered. But all in all, I don't know if that offense is going to be able to compete. I'm with you, Dev. I could see the Chargers beating the Broncos in a rematch in the playoffs. Because when the spades are up, I like Harbaugh. Harbaugh knows how to get to the Super Bowl. Sean Payton's been to one, if I'm not mistaken. But look, here's the crazy, and this is why I asked that question. Oh, that's right too. That's right, because they lost one. So
lost to Green Bay.
Fantastic.
Thank you for calling him out, because if I would have called him out, he would have went ahead and researched it, typed it up, and looked and asked ChatGPT, all of that. But shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the greatest team in the world. Anyway,
we are. That's a fact. So I would say, this is the fun part about this, is that it's so wide open. I can't even tell you who's going to the conference championship this year in either league, West or East, or West, AFC or NFC. I don't have a clue. It could be the Rams and Bucks. It could be the Rams and Eagles. It could be the Seahawks. It could be the Seahawks. Let's not rule out the Seahawks in this.
Oh yeah, Seahawks. I forgot the Seahawks existed for a second, and now they're my favorite. I love the Seahawks this year. The Seahawks got the NFL for me. I'm done.
Look, Devin, you're totally right. The Seahawks are amazing on defense. But the one thing Sam Darnold needs to learn, and the one thing I will say, if you guys watch football the way I do, and I hope you guys do, but if you watch Sam Darnold, he doesn't know how to look off pressure. Yeah. Meaning, if I'm looking this way and I'm trying to get that safety to bite this way, he doesn't do that. He literally looks where he's throwing the ball, and that's why everybody's starting to figure out where he's throwing to. They know they're going to throw to Jackson. Everybody knows he's throwing to him. But where is Jackson? All I do is just follow his eyes. He's right there. And over the last 4 or 5 games, if you looked at it, over the last 2 or 3 games, if you look at the way he's played, it's been that way. So, no, I won't say the Seahawks. I think the Rams are great, but I also think without Devontae Smith, people are going to start doubling Puka Nacua. It's going to be a problem. That's the reason why I don't have them in there. That's the reason why I have the Eagles. You know what team that no one's saying? Bears.
Yeah, no, I'm on the Bears train. For me, it's a toss-up. I think I like the Seahawks still. When Sam Darnold plays good, I think Sam Darnold gets Seattle there. Bears, Packers is a toss-up. I think those teams are evenly matched. If they meet up in the playoffs, whoever wins that matchup is in the NFC Championship.
You
if
know
it's
what?
not the NFC Championship.
You know what's going to be a tough thing for the Packers? First off, Jordan Love I think he's just got a concussion and he'll probably be okay
You're
by
right.
the
Yeah,
playoffs.
he just got hurt. I just thought about you. You're correct.
But Micah Parsons blew his knee. So, and he as good as that defense already was before he got there, he blew them up defensively and made them really, really contenders. So I would like to think that they could still be competitive even without Micah, but I don't know how far they're going to go as you know in the playoffs now without him. But they were a good team.
I love that. I so love that he brought up the Packers. I'm so glad you guys brought up the Packers. Hey, Peyton, I got a question for you, sir. So you've been in the Army. You're still in the Army, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How many times you always how many battles you go through with your brothers in arms? Like how many battles you go through?
I've never deployed. I'm not like a real hero. I've never.
You are a
deployed.
hero to us,
Oh, sorry,
Peyton.
Steve.
No.
You are a hero, yes, sir. No, the reason why I asked that, man, like
the most I've done. So I can't give away too much. My job does have some things I'm not allowed to talk
Discretion.
Yeah,
That's
but
okay.
I work in air defense, and our primary focus is now drones. So my whole training is oriented towards the defeat and the defeat of drones. So that's basically everything I focus on. I've done a lot of training, never been in any real combat scenarios. We can hope that probably for my fiance's sake and my family's sake, I can hope that stays that way. But yeah, I've never done anything like crazy. I've done a bunch of training rotations in California, and that's it.
Okay.
And I went to Korea.
I'm glad you said that. Were you in San Diego when you did your training? Never mind. Don't answer that. I'm not allowed to know the loss.
I was in the desert, so not fun.
Yeah, no, I got you. No. I wanted to ask you, and the reason why I brought that up and you being in the military. So you know what it takes to win. Like obviously you go through these trainings. You have to work with other people, guys you've never met before. Guys you've never seen from a hole in the wall. Do you think it's capable for a Cinderella team in the NFL to play together and win a championship?
I think it happens a lot. I mean, I would say that it happens a decent amount. I think in a lot of ways.
Not a lot. I feel years it doesn't happen, but I think this year it could happen with a Cinderella team. We're talking about the Denver Broncos, Patriots.
I mean, I think
we're talking about Cinderella teams.
Yeah, I mean, like I think the Cinderella teams this year, if you like considered this, would be the Bears, the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Chargers. So, and then also the
Chargers. Let me ask you, why the Chargers so much?
Well, because they weren't.
Because this is the second time you've mentioned them.
Chargers, really good defense.
And they run the rock.
Chargers, along with the Rams, the Chargers and the Rams are probably, and then in most days, the Patriots, they're probably the most well-rounded football teams, where like they play really good. They play really good offense. They play really good defense consistently, and that consistency is what's gonna more often than not win. Like last year, the Eagles were a much more consistent team on offense and defense compared to the Chiefs, and so that consistency is what won.
See, and you're absolutely right. That's the balance that's going to make a difference when it's all said and done. As far as because the interesting thing about your question is it's hard to call anybody a Cinderella team. You don't just people, as Tomlin would say, people don't get on a moving train and then just
That's why I'm not telling you.
By the time you get to the Super Bowl or that conference championship, you've done so much work together that it doesn't feel like that's a new person on your team anymore. I mean, we're talking about.
I'm not doing this on purpose. I have no choice but to do this. I'm a great Steelers fan. I love the Steelers. Ever since the steel curtain was around, hey man, I'm sorry. You guys get Devin, Peyton. You guys are gonna get this randomly. I apologize, but Steelers are the greatest team in the world.
They are. They're maybe the best in the league. So look, man. We've probably spent a good deal of time, much more than I thought we would. But man, it's been a blast. And I can't say thank you enough again for y'all joining us, man. So tell everybody again, for those who just joined us, you're probably missing out. You can go back and watch it, so you won't miss completely. But you missed live an outstanding show with our guys Peyton and Devin from the Tailgate Sports Media. Tell us where they can tell everybody where they can find you. When you guys release podcasts and everything, please.
Also, let them know your favorite barbecue. Also, let them know your favorite barbecue thing to eat. Tell them the reason why. Like, you got to tell them. Because obviously, I didn't know that you're supposed to have a beer and a thing in your hand. I thought you were supposed to have a bowl and the beer was supposed to be on the side because I hate jambalaya. Remember that story. So.
Y'all learned this a lot today. All right, let's just start
there. The jambalaya. You guys are concerned about the jambalaya. You don't need the spoon. You can dip the bowl.
That's the other thing is you guys aren't thinking of.
It still
works. You can drink the bowl of jambalaya.
You use the spoon when you drink the milk after your cereal.
No,
you use the spoon,
don't.
or you just take that bowl and you dig. Exactly. You don't need that spoon.
They've got it figured out. And listen, they're aficionados. All right, that's. You think you get a mustache like that and not be smart? Come on, let's be real.
You definitely do.
Look at my mustache. I don't have a great mustache.
You don't have to be smart for this mustache.
I got grays in my beard, man. I got grays, so obviously I'm not that wise because obviously I got grays in my beard. I've had a lot of near misses in my life. You, sir, both of you, wow. Y'all just taught me something. Just take the fucking bowl and
listen. You're gonna do this with the beer. You're gonna do this with the bowl. What? All right. Look, I've learned enough. You guys, listen. Goats. No, man. No, that's awesome. So, all right. Tailgate Sports Media, man. Talk to us.
So, you can find us, watch us on YouTube. I'm working on getting us on the other streaming platforms. I'm just a very busy individual, so I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to it. But we currently we try to release every Friday. It does happen on Saturday sometimes, but that's typically every Friday is the goal for our episodes. And yeah, we have Facebook, which is Tailgate Sports. And then we have our YouTube, which is Tailgate Sports Media Pod. If you just look up Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, I'm pretty sure we're the ones that show up.
That's it.
We will be having a Spotify soon, which is Tailgate Sports Media. And then other than that, Apple would be the same thing. We just don't have those up and running yet.
Yeah, no worries, man. Look, I found them on Facebook, and then it was very easy to find them on YouTube as well. Very, very thankful for you guys joining us, man. It's really been a blast. Not only did we learn, but I actually had fun too, and I hadn't done that in 25 years. So,
but man, I will say this has been the worst episode of my life.
Also, we haven't gotten to that point yet, and I think it's time that we get there. So, for everybody that's joining us, I know y'all are in Texas, and Peyton, I know you're a busy guy, so if you can't make it, my feelings won't be hurt. But next Sunday, January 4th, at Sideways, we will be celebrating. So, as we talked about, we had our fantasy league, our podcast hosted a Creators Fantasy League. Very, very dope league. We got to do a lot of really awesome content creation. And I will say, for most of the season, that handsome fella at the bottom, the one with no hair, was the number one guy. And I will also say that he beat the pants off my team. It was like, what was it, 140 to 57 or 80 or something like that? He smoked me. Yeah. He smoked me. Now, I told him
Zach Charbonnet. If I would have played Zach Charbonnet, I would have been in the league. I won the championship. Just want to say that. I don't care what anybody says. This shit biased. Fuck this shit. Go Steelers. Welcome to the Steelers country. Welcome to Steelers Nation. Yeah.
So he lost in the conference championship. And I told him in week 12, I said, dude, I'm telling you who's gonna win this. It's gonna be Worm and KP. So one of my best friends that joined the league, just because we've never been to fantasy league together. And what the other side of the Run Your Mouth podcast, Jeremy Worm is Jeremy Ricks is in the championship. So it's a 2-week championship. This week they'll play, and then next week we'll watch the end of it, because I don't think there's a Monday night game on the 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it should conclude. The championship should conclude on Sunday. And so we're going to it's called Sideways. It's a nice little dive right on Dixon Street in Fayetteville. Not too far from where Baker Mayfield was tackled before becoming the number 1 pick. There's a little brick there. There's a little brick where it happened. We're very proud. We're very proud of Baker coming to join us and hang out with us. And whoever that pretty girl was that he came to see, God bless you, ma'am, wherever you are. So we had a blast. It was a fun night. So, but we're gonna be there next weekend. And I'm looking forward. I'm driving up, or I'm actually I'm gonna fly, or I'm gonna find a way there somehow. I don't know if my arms are can last through enough to flap my way all the way from Baton Rouge to Fayetteville, but we'll get there. And so, and so me and a lot of the guys that a lot of our content creators are from Arkansas, but there are a few who are. We got, like I said, I got a whole network, man. Shout out to B-Rod and NFL Playmakers inside the locker room, the whole cast over there. Freezy Sports.
Shout out to Freezy. Shout out to Freezy.
And y'all will see them tagged in, because I'm gonna, like I said, we're gonna clip this on Opus Clips, and we'll tag them a lot of it. You'll see a lot of the likes, things like that, if you guys jump over to Instagram and Facebook. So a lot there. And so, man, definitely glad to welcome y'all into our network of podcasters, man. When you got time, jump in, man. Don't be ashamed. You definitely won't be a stranger. Like I said, we're gonna definitely reach out to y'all in February to start with the Oklahoma interviews. And so we'll do a lot. We'll do a lot of chatting throughout the season. Maybe even talk a little basketball. We'll let our resident angry Puerto Rican celebrate his Knicks cup. That's the only championship they've won since 1972. By the
way, see, you see how you talk shit? See, I've been sitting here I've been saying nothing but nice shit the entire time about his team. I fucking hate it. Oh, I fucking hate it. But he can't even say nothing nice about us winning the Intercontinental Championship.
You guys won the TV championship. Well, look, man, So, again, can't thank y'all enough for joining us. Any shameless plugs, anything y'all want to, doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be sports. Whatever you want to shout out, anything?
On the side, I own a landscaping business in Austin, Texas. So please, if you are in Austin, Texas, listening to this, Mellowscapes Landscaping, we'll get your grass cut right.
Send me that logo. We'll pump it. We'll pump it, man. Whatever you got. And since you are, currently serving, one of the things we've had some shout out to our boys over at Vet Plus Sports. They put me on to this, the 988 Veterans Crisis Line. Call it anything, man. I'd rather, if I don't answer the phone, you can always call. I know there's a lot going on. I'm not a veteran, but I respect everyone that is, always very appreciative of the freedom that it affords me to stay up here on the internet and talk shit to the 18 people that are going to see this. It's more than 18. Don't worry. It's 26. But no, man, we definitely a shout out to them, and always pumping the Veterans Crisis Line. But definitely appreciate your service there, man, and look forward to having y'all back real soon, actually. So anything?
That's a lot of good fun, man. Yeah, man. No, man. I just wanted to say, guys, through rough times, man, through anything, man. I feel like I always say this. I feel like sports bring people together, no matter what. It doesn't matter if I know you from a hole in the wall, but I just got to know you guys on a personal level, knowing who you guys like in sports and you guys talking about sport. See, that brings people closer we've never met before. And like I said, man, I think sports bring people together, and that's what it's about. It's not about who hates this, who hates that team. Honestly, it's about the joy and the love and the camaraderie that you can get when you're watching a sports event. So I wanted to shout that out to you, Devin, you, Peyton. Thank you for joining. I definitely appreciate the shit out of it. Like I definitely do. I still don't understand how you don't have Jonathan Taylor as your MVP, but that's really beyond me. But go Steelers! Hey, look. Anyway, go Steelers! Thank you, Baker, for getting tackled on Dixon Street in Arkansas. You are famous for that always.
He's a legend. He's legendary.
Hey, you know what? I will say it, and I hate to say it, and most Hog fans are gonna get mad at me because I will woo pig suey anybody, but I want to say, Boomer!
Sooner.
Hey, man, as I always say, man, tough times don't last. Tough people do, man. Thank y'all for watching the Fanatic Sports Podcast.